Hello students of class 4, welcome to today's English class. Today we will do unit 5 of your English textbook Marigold. Let us read the poem Don't Be Afraid of the Dark by Ruskin Bond. Look at page 74, unit 5 at the poem Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. I'll read the poem for you. Don't be afraid of the dark by Ruskin Bond. Don't be afraid of the dark, little one. The earth must rest when the day is done. The sun must be harsh, but moonlight never. And those stars will be shining forever and ever. Be friends with the night. There is nothing to fear. Just let your thoughts travel to friends far and near. By day, it does seem that our troubles won't cease, but at night, late at night, the world is at peace. So, are some of you scared of the night? No, dear little ones, there is nothing to fear the night. The night is peaceful, and it has the moon and the stars to be with you throughout the night. Okay. Now, let us read the words at the bottom of the page. We must read these words. I'll read them for you. You repeat after me. Afraid, dark, rest, harsh, forever, troubles, cease, excellent. Now, let us look at the activity Reading is Fun on page 75. Let us have some fun with the questions there. Question 1. What is the poem about? The poem is about the beautiful night, which is peaceful. The stars and the moon are with you throughout the night. The next question. What happens when the day is over? When the day is over, the night falls. The stars and the moon shine throughout the night. Question number 3. What does the earth do when the day is over? The earth rests at the end of the day. Question 4. What does the poet want us to do at night? The poet asks us not to be afraid of the night. He tells us to look at the stars and the moon, think of all our friends who are near and far, and stay at peace at night. Question number 5. There are some sentences given here. You will have to say whether they are true or false. Question A. The poet tells the child to be afraid when it is dark. Is it true or false? False. Right. The poet says the stars will always shine at night. True or false? True. The poet tells the child to think of friends after it is dark. True or false? True. Excellent. Let us now look at the next section, word building. In the poem, there is this word, moonlight, which is a combination of two smaller words, moon and light. Have you come across some other words like this? There are some in the activity. Let us look at it. Good plus night makes it good night. Water plus fall makes it waterfall. Water falling from a height. Break plus fast makes it breakfast. Day plus break is, yes, it is daybreak. Rain plus bow is, you know it, It is the rainbow. Right. Now, the next activity, pick out a word from the poem which is the opposite of war. Can you think of that? Yes, it is peace. The word opposite of enemies from the poem? Friends. Correct. The word opposite of gentle from the poem? Yes, of course, it is harsh. The word opposite of light. Look at the poem once again. Yes, it is dark. The word opposite of night is, of course, day. And the last one, opposite of start is end. Good. Now look at the words on page 76, question number 2. You have these two words, don't and won't. Do you know the full forms of these words? Here they are for you. Don't is do not, won't is will not. Now look at the other words in the activity. Didn't, if you break it up, what will it be? Did not. Shouldn't will be should not. Right. Now can you try the rest of them at home as homework? Yes. Let us now look at the section Let's Talk. There are some questions there. Question 1, are you afraid of the dark? Question 2, what do you do when it is dark? Question 3, have you ever been very frightened? Think of these questions. Think of the answers too. When you meet your friends, talk to them about this and find out what are their answers for these questions. Okay, so let us move to the next section. Okay, now it is time to do the activity Say Aloud. Can you think of a word beginning with T which rhymes with the word seize and means playfully make fun of somebody? Can you guess the word? Yes, of course. It is tease. What is the word that begins with C, rhymes with fear and near, and it means to see, hear or understand something well? Yes, of course. The word is clear. Okay, now we will have to say a few more sounds and words aloud. Say the sound T. T. Once again. T. Yes. Now when you say this sound, what happens to the tip of your tongue? Where does it touch? Say the sound once again and check it out. T. Yes, the tip of the tongue touches a little behind the back part of upper teeth on your palate, which is a hard part. Now, say the word cat after me. Cat. Did you see what happened to your tongue when you said the word? Okay. Let us say a few more words after these. I'll say the words, you repeat after me. Toe, tip, tie, 10. Okay. Now say the word book after me. Book. Did you notice the k sound at the end of the word book. Now say a few more words with the same sound at the end of the word. Book, look, chick, duck, sack, clock, and so on. Let us say a few more words with the sound k. Kangaroo, curtain, key, kitten. Good. Let us now look at the activity "Let's write" on page 78. You have a set of red and yellow teacups. You have to find a word which sounds similar to the word in the red cup and place it in the yellow cup beside it. The first one is done for you. Let us start. Number 1, 2, TOO2 and TWO2. One is the number, the other one is something in excess. Try the next one. On the red cup, you have 1, the number. Can you think of the other one? Yes, it is 1. Somebody won a prize. Number 3, on the red cup, you have deer, the animal. Can you think of the next one? Yes, it is dear, somebody whom you like. The last one, on the red cup you have sun, on the yellow cup you have the other sun. Right. Now let us look at question number 2 on page 79. You have to complete the sentences choosing the right word that are given to you in the bracket. The words are the same that you put in your red and yellow cup just in the previous activity. A. The sum was too difficult for the class to solve. Only 2 students could do it. B. There was only one boy who won the prize. C. The golden deer was very dear to him. D. Ramu's son loved to play in the sun. Do you know what these words are called? Words which have same pronunciation but different spellings and meaning. They are called homophones. Good. On page 80, there is another poem for you. I'll read the poem for you. Are you ready? Yes. Don't give up. If you keep on going and never stop, you can keep on going. You can make it to the top. Life is full of mountains. Some are big, some are small. But if you don't give up, you can overcome them all. So keep on going. Try not to stop. When you keep on going, you can make it to the top. Do you like the poem? Did you look at the picture of the boy who is on top of the hill? Look at him. He's so happy. Do you know why? He has gone through all the troubles of climbing the hill, and now that he is on top, he is so happy. Have you ever climbed a hill? How did you feel? Happy? Yes. Good. Now, I will tell you another story, a story of somebody who had very difficult times in life. Have you heard the story of Helen Keller? Helen Keller was born long back in 1880 in a small town. She was a healthy baby and her parents loved her dearly. One day, Helen Keller fell very seriously ill. She had high fever for days together. everybody was worried. People said she might not even live longer. Helen survived, but shortly her parents realized that she can neither see nor hear. She was otherwise a very bright child. Her mother felt she was very smart and could learn many things. Everybody around her were not so hopeful. They thought she'll never be able to learn anything. Helen grew up. As she grew up into a little girl, she sometimes became very wild. She would not allow anybody to comb her hair or change her clothes. She would sometimes even be angry and kicked her feet. Her parents felt there should be somebody to teach her everything about the world. They tried hard to find a teacher for her. Finally, Mrs. Sullivan agreed to teach Helen. Mrs. Sullivan would give a doll to Helen and write the word doll on her palm. Helen would write back the same word, but she never understood what the word meant. Mrs. Sullivan didn't give up. She went on writing and spelling words on Helen's hand day in and day out. One day, Mrs. Sullivan put Helen's hand under the running water and then wrote the word water on her hand. At that point of time, Helen Keller understood what the word water meant. It meant something that is wet falling on her hands. From then onwards, Helen realized that every word has a meaning and it relates to things in the world. That was a moment of great amazement and experience for Helen. This is the story of how Helen learned her first word ever. Do you like the story? Look at the picture of Helen touching water. Helen had difficulties in life. She could neither hear nor see. But she overcame all these difficulties and became a great person in life. We'll hear other stories of Helen on some other day. Right now, let us look at the words on the page and read them. I'll read the words on page 83. Repeat them after me. Dearly, illness, agreed, important. Now look at reading is fun section on page 84. Let us answer those questions. Question 1. Something is wrong, said Helen's mother. What was wrong with Helen? We all know Helen could neither see nor hear. Question 2. Although Helen could not hear or see, what kind of girl was she? Though Helen could not hear or see, she was a bright and smart girl. Question 3. Who agreed to help Helen? Miss Sullivan agreed to help Helen. How did Miss Sullivan help Helen? Miss Sullivan spelt words on her hand day in and day out and tried to make her repeat them. Question 5. What did Helen learn when the teacher put her hand into running water? Helen understood that water meant something wet that fell on her hand. Now the last question. What was the most important thing that Helen finally understood? Yes, The most important thing that Helen understood was that words were the most important things in the world. Words would tell her everything she wanted to know. Okay, good. Now, let us go to the Let's Talk section on page 84. If you turn the pages and go to pages 85, 86 and partly 87, you will find the letters of the English alphabet are shown in sign language. Look at those and try to spell the words in question 1 and 2 with sign language. Try this as homework. Let us look at question 3. How do people who cannot see read? They read with the help of a system called Braille, a system of reading and writing by touch. It consists of arrangements of dots which make up letters and numbers. Let's go to question number 5. How can you help children who cannot see? Have you ever been with children who cannot see? What do you think you can do for them? Yes, you can read for them stories and books. If you are with them in a beautiful place, describe to them the beautiful scene around you. They will be able to enjoy it just as you are doing. If they are in an unknown place, you can hold them by their hand and take them around. You can even help them to do their daily chores. Think of some other ways of helping people who cannot see. Excellent. Let us now go to Let's Write section on page 87. There is a matching exercise for you. Match the two parts of a sentence given in column A and B. Add but to join the two parts. Let us try. Helen lived after her illness. Question number 1. But can you match it? Yes. The right answer is question C. So, the answer is Helen lived after her illness, but she could not hear or see. Question 2. She could not see or hear, but yes, question E. She was very intelligent. Right. Can you try the rest as homework? Write the complete sentences in the space that is given in your textbook. Do that at home. Let us now do the last activity on page 88. There are a few sentences given there. I'll read them for you. Note the words that are in blue. Her clothes were always dirty. She was often angry. Sometimes she lay on the floor. Her parents never scolded her. Okay, now there is a set of tasks for you. Now, there are some questions given to you in page 88. Look at the questions. How often do you obey your parents? How often do you visit your grandparents? How often do you help others? How often do you throw waste in the dustbin? There are a few more questions. Think about these questions carefully. Beside these questions, there are some options given to you. Always, often, sometimes, never. Think of these questions carefully and tick the right option. Do this as homework. Now, we have come to the last part of this lesson unit. We have another poem. Look at the poem that is displayed for you on the screen. I'll read the poem for you aloud. Pretty Peep. I have a little sister. They call her Pretty Peep. She wades in the waters deep, deep, deep. She climbs up the mountains high, high, high. My pretty little sister, she has just one eye. Who is Pretty Peep? Oh, so this poem is also a riddle. Can you think of who Pretty Peep is? Do you want me to give you some clues from the poem? Okay, look at the poem there once again. The little sister, she wades in the waters deep, 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 and she climbs up the mountains high, high, high. Do you think a little girl can go deep into the water or climb a high mountain? There is a clue there for you. There's another one. There, the little sister has just one eye. Can you think of something that is high above the mountains and has one eye? Yes, of course, it is the star. You can see the reflection of the star in the water and also see the star high up above the mountains in the sky. Right, so you've got this riddle and also read this lovely little poem. Okay, we have completed Unit 5. Let's just recollect all that we learned today. We read the poem, Do Not Be Afraid of the Dark by Ruskin Bond. We learned to add 2 words and make new words. We learned some words with t and k. We heard the story of Helen Keller. We also learned new words like always, often, sometimes, never. That is all for today. See you next time. Bye.